reality is that we're beings of light and of love, you know, just like flowers. Flowers show their beauty. Our elders understood the concept of that, you know. They studied flowers like they would study humans, you know, and so it's that time where we'll understand our beauty of us and we follow our destiny. So it's a good time.
Yes, that's right. Once again, thank you very much, Cyril, for all your wise words. And you are tuned into 94.1 KPFA Berkeley, 89.3 KPFB in Berkeley, 88.1 KFCF in Fresno, and online at kpfa.org. You are listening to Setting the Standard. And here we go, back to some music. This is El Bú. Ciudad Celestial.
Somos agua, somos tierra, somos fuego, somos viento. Este es nuestro rezo, sí. Aquí, Chicano, Mexica Connection. Rocco Pachucote en la Cali. Desde los barrios de Tenochtitlán, México, Los Ángeles, Califastlán, Kiba, Meteo. Movimientos de los 4 elementos, se tomaron los momentos para crear estos centros, que los tiempos ni los vientos poderán con estos templos, que no vengan con inventos, falsedades y con cuentos. Somos descendientes de una gente inteligente, utilizando siempre mente sabia como serpientes, sabía toda la gente que no hay nada diferente, lo que ve, lo que se siente, espíritu presente, fue invocado, llamado del otro lado, porque todo antepasado lo dejó aquí bien grabado, que no fuera olvidado y que fuera estudiado, así todo lo creado sea elevado. Somos gente de ciencia, honrando creación, ciencia y religión, siempre tuvo conexión, y México, el ombligo con la luna, como esta ciudad, no hay ninguna. Ciudad celestial, corazón del mundo, ahí es donde nació mi pensamiento profundo. Águila nopal, la voz del jaguar, te escribo mis letras con pluma de quetzal, mi mensaje es antiguo, te canto medicina, yo soy como una espina, difícil de quitar, yo soy como una rola de maldita vecindad, enlocando la gente, te abro tu mente, yo soy descendiente de esta tierra mexicana, aunque yo vengo del otro lado de Tijuana, la L, la A, Califastlán, y los que no me crean, mi sangre es mi prueba.
Plazo Kamadli, Palemowani, El Bú en la Calico Rocco, Tonali, from ancestors who are still with us, guide us, unite us, uplift us through a spiral flow, mind, body, and soul, connected con elementos, luna y sol, from the future we flow, trascendiendo tiempo como los templos.
Ometeus, Omesiwa, Ometeus, Omesiwa, Ometeus, Omesiwa, aquí estamos, estuvimos y estaremos, somos la semilla que plantaron los abuelos, como pidió Cuauhtémoc, pasaron de padres a hijos el saber de los ancestros, por los 4 rumbos propagaron este rezo, pueblos indígenas guardianes del tiempo, cuenta de los días anunciaba este momento, aquí y ahora, este es nuestro tiempo, el sol que nos alumbra, sol de movimiento, somos agua, somos tierra, somos fuego, somos viento, y estamos caminando en unidad y movimiento. La gente de la tierra ha llamado a la acción y por todo el mundo se ha escuchado su voz. Afila la palabra, cultiva la esperanza. Abajo y a la izquierda nuestros corazones cantan. Para todos la luz, para todos la paz. Por nuestra madre tierra y toda la humanidad. Mexicas y chicanos, juntos caminamos. El camino rojo, el saber del toltecayo. Somos flor y canto, sonido digital. Músicas nuevas, raíz ancestral. Aceptamos la misión, somos cantores de paz. Flacuidos grafiteros, danzantes de ciudad. Somos flor y canto, sonido digital. Llamando a los hermanos, es el tiempo de unidad. Es el tiempo de unidad. Meteo. Somos gente de ciencia, honrando creación. Ciencia y religión, siempre tuvo conexión. Y México, el ombligo con la luna. Como esta ciudad, no hay ninguna. Ometeus, Omesiwa, Ometeus, Omesiwa, Ometeus, Omesiwa. Aho, aho. Ometeo. Noștino me cauțin, Tlaso camaro meteo tlanansin, Tonatiu, ejecat, atal, fleximpli, Nahuites calipoca, las antiguas palabras que salen de mi boca, en forma de flor, amanecí con sudor y un extraño dolor en mi corazón, y no entiendo la razón, miro a los cielos y comienzo mi oración, con canción, pidiendo una explicación, y recibo una sensación extranjera, como algo de afuera, que no pertenece en esta tierra, me extraño como sudo, y siento un nudo, no puedo respirar. ¿Qué irá a pasar? ¿Qué quiere significar? Me pongo a pensar que si todas las cosas han de cambiar. Miro alrededor y mi cuerpo se llena de temor. ¿Por qué, creador? Le pregunto a la Madre Universal, mientras que me pongo a llorar y las lágrimas me salen como olas. Mi hijita me pregunta, tata, ¿por qué lloras? No sé qué responder. Miro a mi mujer y le digo, pase lo que pase, siempre te voy a querer. Algo me dice que me tengo que preparar, físico e espiritual. Enciendo la lumbre y comienzo el ritual, llamando a mi tonal, jaguar. Y sé que de aquí para adelante nada será igual. Mi kid sí está cerca de mí, lo siento en el viento. Mientras que salgo de mi Cali y veo que mi calpuli, todo guerrillero y guerrillera, ya está afuera. Nos reportamos a nuestro consejero guerrillero, Cuauhtémoc, y nos dice que llegó el tiempo de defender a nuestro gran Tenochtitlán. Pero ¿qué serán? ¿De dónde vendrán? ¿Qué buscarán? ¿Qué traerá el mañana? Preparo mi macana. The war drum sounding, my heart pounding. The sound of the rattle prepares me for battle. So I begin to pray as I listen to the flute play. But all of a sudden, I start to perspire. My blood boiling like fire. It quickens up my respiration. I'm filled with anticipation, overwhelmed with the sensation. Sweaty palm, but I still try to remain calm, controlling my breathing pace. But the sweat still covers my face. And once again, I'm overtaken by anxiety. Restless spirit within inside of me. Tears begin to fall from my eye. I start to cry and I don't even know why. Never before have I felt like this before war. It feels kind of fake, but it feels like my spirit is trying to escape. What does it know that it's not telling me? My muscles tense, I can tell it's time for defense. Mexica Tiawi heard in the distance, quick as the reply. Mexica Tiawi up to the sky, but fear is near us. Nervousness is surrounding us, but the Copal sense keeps our focus. Time my grip on my Jaguar strip, Ocelot skin shield to protect when I step into the battlefield. Reports start to come in about the strange pale men, six-legged, two-headed, more like a beast, at least. Fire spitting staff, baby eating is quickly. I can just imagine what they have in store for me, but I accept my destiny. Eagle warriors next to me, defending family and society. And for the second time, tears cover my eyes. In the distance, the dust begins to rise. The confrontation is at hand, feelings I can't understand. No time for thought, time to take a stand. I begin to step to protect the Aztec intellect. Mexica wise men, women, and children. Lift my shield over my head to protect me from the metal staff. Swing my macana as I cut the invader in half. Continue to turn around, jump, and force another to the ground. I hear the death sound as I take my obsidian knife. Take a deep breath when I take his life. Down on my knees, I felt a strange breeze, and for a second, I felt time freeze. I view the scenery, death surrounding me. Mi compañera screaming towards me. Beast standing over me. My baby crying. I was dying. Metal staff on my back. Tried to attack, fell back. No choice but to welcome death. I take my first breath. Look up towards the sun. Smile. Father, here I come. Vertical travel. As I leave my physical vessel. Universal soul. Universal soul. Universal soul. As I enter the center of the circle, I thank the four directions, Mother Earth and Father Sky. Some of you may ask why, and not understand where I'm coming from. That is because we have been kept from our ancient wisdom, torn away from our roots. That is why we have gangbangers, drug dealers, and prostitutes. Identity lost, spiritual death as a cause. Modern day Holocaust since 1492, but nobody's making a big deal about it like they did for the Jew. You see, Hitler's roots go back to Columbus. The first chance they got, they started killing us. To this very day, the killings are continuous. Just look at Chiapas, the southeast corner of Mexico, where Cortez started the killings over 400 years ago. It seems that murder is a ritual for the newly arrival, using the Bible or any other means to justify their atrocities. Took Africa's babies to refill the plantation due to the almost annihilation of the indigenous population. So enter the center of the circle and find your true identity, not a fantasy brought over by the philosophy of a foreign mentality. So I say to thee, yo, 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 Mexica Tiawi. Heavy is the load that we carry, living life as a revolutionary, spitting fire that the four winds will carry to every direction, to every dimension. Heavy is the load that we carry, living life as a revolutionary.
Cause the day will come when all of Anahuac will be unified as one. Broken is the cycle once they decide to change your mind, unleashing the ancestries that were left behind. Tezcalipoca, Quetzalcoatl, o Mateo, guide us as we go to fight this evil with a jade heart and an obsidian spirit. I won't cease to persist to tell my people that we still exist. Always a scholar, never a teacher. Don't misunderstand me, brothers, I'm not a preacher. Just a man trying the best I can to awaken the lost souls of Aslan. Like the rays of the sun, I'll nurture everyone. The truth's like a gun, you can't deny the crimes that he's done. Son of Yakub, your time is through. Aw shit, six of prophecy coming true. The rising of the poor, going up against the gluttonous whore. Like my Zapatista brothers say, Ya basta, we can't take this no more. Which Lilo Bush need the energy of war. My spirit won't cease to exist to rise once more.
Is the load that we carry, living life as a revolutionary, spitting fire that the four winds will carry to every direction, to every dimension. Heavy is the load that we carry, living life as a revolutionary, spitting fire that the four winds will carry to every direction, to every dimension.
Gotta be Iron Man like Ghostface is. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding in life is basics. Love makes this, jealousy hates this. Word of J. Wu, ignorance is contagious. The element that shapes this matrix. Take this spirit, shape shift the lyrics. Create this spirit, don't taste this, you feel it. As it embraces all races, leaving behind divine traces. You can't erase this like permanent marker. Bullseye all the time, top-notch archer. The richest papa spits this proper. Ella spitting skills, it's all I got to get me through this existence. Moving with this resistance up against this beast is machine. It's got me raging like De La Rocha steam. I've come to understand the power of cream, so I'm ruled by 16 proverbs. I observe these raw words converse. The God's verse to lost herds of sheep. See, my speech is so deep, most need melodies when this bro speaks or raps a flow. It's all natural. Watch my Mac and load as I crack the mode that entraps the soul. Take a chance, let go, let God unfold unto your soul. Let God unfold unto your soul.
Heavy is the load that we carry, living life as a revolutionary, spitting fire that the four winds will carry to every direction, to every dimension. Heavy is the load that we carry, living life as a revolutionary, spitting fire that the four winds will carry to every direction, to every dimension.
Yes, yes. Calling all the ancestors as the sun begins to make its presence. We begin to gather our energies, begin to understand that being brown is to be proud of who you are. So be brown and proud. Say it loud. We don't stop, children under the sun. We don't stop, children under the sun. Unite as one in Aslan. Rasa, stand up as we are all brown. From then until now. From then until now. Rasa, stand up. Skin does not determine the color, it is what is inside. And the many generations of racist genocide that has made you forget that you are brown. No matter who puts you down, inside is what counts. As we travel in many shades of brown, say it loud. Brown and proud. Orale. Brown and proud is it. Just like the earth we come from. We are brown and proud. Just like what we grow on. We are brown and proud. Into a natural brown color of our nature. As we travel in seasons, brown persists to exist in all four directions. No matter space and time, we are the roots of the brown lines that create the hands of time and the concept of zero and the never-ending cycles as we already have traveled throughout the world. Brown and proud. Say it loud. I'm brown and proud. That's right. Once again, right here, setting the standard. And now, we're going to transition into a little bit of a moment in time where we have a special guest here. La Brava, she's going to be joining us right here, giving us some words, some wisdom, some energy, coming through with the ancestors right here, kicking it on this moment in time and space, intergalactically, through destiny. We have ended up here on this day called Indigenous Peoples Day. What's up, Brava? How you doing? Buenos dias.
Oh, it's a beautiful day out there. There's no morning fog, and you can actually see the stars. I want to thank Pedro here for keeping it going all night, and we are welcoming the dawn. It is the annual commemoration at Alcatraz. A lot of what's going on has stemmed from the people's efforts in 1992 to dispel the myth that Columbus was a hero and discovered the people here. At the time, the government and the Italian community, they were going to do a reenactment of the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria going through the Golden Gate. Well, first of all, that wasn't even an accurate depiction of history, and it was a very big insult to all the indigenous peoples here who have fought for survival. So the people united and stopped the project. And the Treaty Council, the International Indian Treaty Council, did some major events to commemorate and talk about what's going on. Very interesting time. So now on Indigenous Peoples Day, people come together and commemorate this time and commemorate the occupation of Alcatraz that happened so long ago. Because it is now 2000 11, and things haven't changed for indigenous peoples. In fact, it seems only to have gotten worse. I spoke to Charmaine Whiteface in South Dakota, and the Black Hills have been looted and raped, not just for coal or gold, but for uranium and feldspar, and a lot of this is going into their groundwater. Same with our people, the Dene, or the Navajo, in the Southwest, the Hopi, and all the other people, Tono of all. They have so many environmental problems. It's heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. So I want to thank all of you people. Come on down to Alcatraz. It's Pier 39. Get there before all the boats leave and show your respect for the earth and her people, for all of us. So, good morning.
Yes, that's right. Good morning to all those waking up. Once again, this is Setting the Standard. We're still getting ready for the special broadcast that's going to be happening out there in Alcatraz. And as you know, they're going to be doing a live broadcast from there, so you can hear some of the different voices coming out of, the native world, and the different folks making sure that there is organizing happening within those communities to be able to make aware of the people that are still here and that were always here and that are not gone, even though the history books say different. So once again, we're getting back into ceremony right here. As you know, we come in and we do this with the sunrise on Monday mornings from 1 to 6, sometimes 1 to 3. But we cruise with the stars and we take the time to make this a ceremony and be able to recognize what we're doing here, why we're here, what energy we can bring to make change.
I just want to remind people there are 4 sacred colors. So each of us are sacred in our own way. And for that, I give thanks, because it's very beautiful to see all the different people together with their bright colored clothes and how they represent themselves. I want to welcome everybody to this circle, even if you can't make it to Alcatraz. They do begin and end with a blessing, and that blessing is for everybody.
That's right, and everybody is included in this sacred earth. And so, once again, just giving you this quick thought before we get into the next thought as we go like this. Sacred is the earth, the sun, and the moon. 4 directions guide me into tomorrow, always knowing there is 5. We travel through time, unknown to the world. We walk in, yet together, making a community. Inner strength in mentality, reality we seek when knowing together we are flowing in universal spaces that forever keep growing. Sacred is the space in our journey of sound as we transcend like a river turning into waterfalls. We all end up in the same ocean of stars.
And this is La Brava, and we will be broadcasting from Alcatraz Island. I did want to tell people a little bit about the history, so a lot of people don't know. For example, the very beginning when they chose to occupy Alcatraz Island, the question, of course, is why? And according to the people in Alcatraz, they offered the U.S. government $24 for that island because they believe that's a similar price, even accounting for inflation, that was paid for an island in the East Coast many, many years ago. So also, they chose the place because of its similarities to a reservation or a prison in terms of the land cannot support adequate crops. There is no sanitation. There is no medical care. There is no education. In short, Alcatraz Island as a prison is exactly the same as the reservations now. We know that Pine Ridge is the poorest county in the United States of America. People don't have telephones. People are barely making it. And then, of course, with all that deep poverty comes despair.
That's
and
right.
As we think about conditions, these inhumane conditions that people are forced to live in, let us not forget our brothers who are on hunger strike. Last I heard, there were 12,000 people on a hunger strike. And it's very serious because, yes, we have incarcerated these people. Yes, we maybe think they have done crimes, but we are still responsible to care for them in a humane way, or else we are no better than the criminals.
That's right, Brava. You know, there's actually an event that's going to be taking place on October 13th, which is a weekly vigil in support of the prisoners' hunger strike. And that's actually happening from 5 to 7 p.m. on Thursday over there in San Francisco on 24th and Mission. So it's going to be a vigil and a ritual. So bring your candles if you have some. If not, they'll probably give you one so you can light a candle for the folks inside doing time. Once again, we know that in the Native community, there's a lot of folks that also end up inside the prison systems and have to deal with these types of systems. One of those persons is actually Leonard Peltier as well, right? And we know and you know many more also go unnoticed and kept locked up. You know, so you know, tell us you know how the Alcatraz prison system right now to what's going on with the prison system now, Brava.
Well, as and look at it as just a place, you can tell it would make a wonderful prison because most people cannot swim in the bay, and you can imagine how terrified these people must have been to be put on an island in the middle of a bay, and I'm sure it was cold and drafty and uncomfortable. Really, I guess people who escaped were legendary. Not very many made it. But the idea of putting people so far away from their loved ones, it's a form of spiritual, mental torture. It's completely inappropriate. If we as a society say we want to get these criminal elements away, then we have to show a better way. We can't just be the same as it's been. So there are people right now waking up all over the United States of America, and they're not happy with the same as it's been. They're occupying Wall Street, and they're occupying San Francisco, and they are occupying the Bank of America in Berkeley. And they say, come on down. It's a movement. It's festive. They call themselves many different things, but people are fed up with the war, fed up with the money going to the war. People are fed up with big, huge projects that have nothing to do with making the world a better place. So people are gathering. And it's not just old people, it's not just young people, it's everybody. gathering together to say enough. We need to change the world.
That's right, and Oakland's going to be on that map of occupation right here happening today at 4 p.m. at 4 p.m. at Frank Ogawa Plaza, and that's at the corner of 14th and Broadway in downtown Oakland near 12th Street BART. So go check that out and see what they're doing out here for Indigenous Resistance Day. And so they're spreading the message of, solidarity with the folks who are here and have always been here, which is the indigenous people of this continent. And those folks who make the history our story.
Yes, it is our story. The people, especially the people who do the work and never get credit for it, people who are just behind the scenes, being strong. I think there's a reason for all of this. It's very bad, some of the injustices that have happened, but I hope we can turn it around. I truly do. I would like to ask each and every one of you to contact Governor Jerry Brown and ask him to shut down Diablo Canyon and San Onofre nuclear generators. We do not want to wake up finding out that there's been a major earthquake in California and a tsunami, and now we're in trouble. California has some of the finest farmland and some of the most beautiful nature in the world. And if we don't take care of it, we're going to be sorry. And it's just a matter of time when we will have a big earthquake. And I do not want to wake up and find out that we've ruined our beautiful state. So everybody call Jerry Brown, Governor, either a fax or Facebook or Twitter, whatever you do. Let him know. Shut it down.
That's right. It looks like a lot of the Central Valley and Southern Califas is taking part in this, direct action, I would say. We got Fresno, we got San Jose, we got, Santa Cruz, Oakland, and Santa Rosa, and then recently we just had LA as well. And so once again, we're seeing that a lot of folks are waking up to this reality of, oppression, of more than 529 years of oppression, not just by white people, but by the upper, government system and, the exploitation market systems that we have right here, which could be, the prison system, the military system, the war systems.
The medical system is becoming a conglomerate thing. And that's what I wonder. Where do you draw the line? Who gets life-saving medicine and who doesn't? So people are getting very afraid because 99% of us are poor and only 1% of us can afford everything they need. And of course it's not fair, but even more alarming, they're destroying the earth.
That's right. So once again, we're right here on Setting the Standard. You're listening to La Brava right here with us, joining us, special guest in the house. And we're going to be taking this to Alcatraz in a couple of, maybe an hour or so. And, talking to the folks out there, bringing you some information. A live broadcast will be taking place where you'll have the host, Janine Antoine, and as well as a couple other folks out there, bringing in the interviews and for everybody, for you to hear what's really going down with the indigenous movement around the world, not just locally, but around the world. So once again, you are tuned in to Setting the Standard. Don't forget, you can always pledge safely online at kpfa.org and support your local DJ right here, or your local program, or your local news and information outlet, kpfa.org. Don't forget, once again, we are in a fund drive, so the more you can help us, the more you can be able to hear different voices throughout the day, throughout the world, and throughout the universe as well. Yes, that's right. So once again, we're going to get into some music. We'll be right back and try to bring you some more information on what's going on. Don't forget, folks are going out to Alcatraz out there, lining up right now as the boats are leaving. And hopefully there's another one you can catch. But you can still head on down there. Try to see if you can make it. Ceremonia is important, especially early in the morning. Orale, we'll be right back.
I am a man, it's on no no. I am a man, it's on no no. Niwa, it's a man, niwa, it's a man. I am a man, it's on no no. I am a man, it's on no no. Niwa, it's a man, niwa, it's a man. I am a man, it's on no no. I am a man, it's on no no. Niwa. It's a man, niwa, it's a man. I am a man, it's on no no. I am a man, it's on no no. Niwa, it's a man, niwa, it's a man. I am a man, it's on no no. I am a man, it's on no no. Niwa, it's a man, niwa, it's a man. I am a man, it's on no no. I am a man. No no niwa atamane niwa atamane I am a man no no I am a man no no niwa atamane niwa atamane I am a man no no I am a man no no niwa atamane niwa atamane I am a man, no no. I am a man, no no. Niwa, it's a man, niwa, it's a man. I am a man, no no. I am a man, no no. Niwa, it's a man, niwa, it's a man. I am a man, no no. I am a man, no no. Niwa, it's a man, niwa, it's a man. I am a man, no no. I am a man, no no. Niwa, it's a man, niwa, Atamane.
is 94.1 KPFA Berkeley, 89.3 KPFB in Berkeley, 88.1 KFCF in Fresno, and online at kpfa.org. You are tuned in to Setting the Standard right here on the mix with Pedro Reyes. And we're having a Indigenous Peoples Day celebration, commemoration, and just overall remembering our ancestors, where we come from, who we are, and where we want to be.
Over the past 500 years, Native American Indians have suffered and survived epidemic disease, sickness, genocide, genocidal war, starvation, and poverty. It is the way of the more than 500 diverse sovereign nations of Indian people
to be humble. Humility is one of our strongest virtues. One lesson learned throughout the metamorphosis of surviving in today's modern society is to live the best of both worlds.
Instead of exercising the out with the old and in with the new, Native American Indians must preserve and keep the old while adapting and living the new. Maintain old traditions, cultures, and heritage while living and surviving today's modern lifestyles. This is the best of both worlds.
Feel the drum. Yes. As the drum skips, so does the heartbeat. Once again, we're right here on Setting the Standard, and my name is Pedro Reyes. We're about to actually go live to Alcatraz and talk to some folks out there. We got Miguel Gavilan Molina, who's going to be talking to us from over there and giving us some voices from Alcatraz as they get to the actual island. Gavilan, are you there? Gavilan, are you there? Are you there? 1 2 1 2. Gavilan, checking in, checking in. Can you hear me now? Yes, yes. Seems like we're gonna try to get Gavilan real quick on the phone and see what's happening. What's up, Gavilan? You there?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Pedro, for bringing us on. This is Miguel Gavilan Molina. I'm here on boarding the Hornblower boat. We're on our way to Alcatraz, commemorating 519 years of indigenous people's resistance. I'm here with my co-host, Mary Jean Robertson, and we're joined by Don Gonzalez from the American Indian Movement West, and Bill Means, one of the co-founders of AIM. And again, the American Indian community and friends and supporters from around the Bay Area in Northern California are gathering and boarding ships right now to go on to the Rock, a.k.a. Alcatraz Island, known in this country. But also we're here for the annual sunrise ceremony to counter the nationally recognized day in this country known as Christopher Columbus Day. Instead, today on Alcatraz, the gathering of all our relations will be commemorating 519 years of indigenous people's resistance to colonization in the Americas. This historic and symbolic date today we will contradict and looking at while it is being celebrated by colonizers, and yet it is realistically celebrating Christopher Columbus to American Indians is like, the general public, Euro-Americans celebrating and honoring Adolf Hitler, who, of course, is responsible for having committed mass genocide against Jews, Roma people, Polish people, and all considered unfavorables. Today, the day is called Dia de la Raza, which means Day of the Race. And Dia de la Raza is recognized throughout Mexico and South America. The gathering today on the Rock is also in solidarity with indigenous peoples throughout the entire Western Hemisphere who have sacrificed their lives daily for us to carry on the struggle for peace on this land, Turtle Island, Anahuac. The people that are boarding the boat today, the feeling here in the sentiment, it's actually a nice morning. It's kind of warm. It's kind of eerie. Yeah. Mary Jean is trying to fan herself because it's getting a little hot here. But there seems to be several hundred people boarding right now. And everybody's coming here in solidarity and in unity amongst each other. Today's sunrise ceremony will offer prayer, tobacco, the drum, dance, and song, songs of liberation. The occasion, and all across the Western Hemisphere, seeks to bring together like-minded anti-imperialist forces in our communities to work together in defense of our Mother Earth and for the coming generations. I'm going to pass the phone over to my co-host, Mary Jean, and we'll also give you a reflection of what is happening here right now. And again, as I said, we've just boarded the Hornblower boat, and we'll be departing here in about 15 minutes. Welcome to today's show, Mary Jean.
Hello, everybody, and you are listening to Radio Free Alcatraz. This is a annual event where we say prayers for the people. And I just wanted to say that before we start anything on the island, I wanted to, for sure, introduce to you a California Indian woman. This is Faith Gimmel.
Hi, this is Victoria Gimmel. Calling from California on the way to Alcatraz. And I just want to say thank you for listening. Welcome everyone to California. And I'm glad that we have this opportunity to go out on the island and commemorate those that occupied it and honor those that continue to do this work. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we also have from California, Win2, Michael Preston.
Hello, Michael Preston here from the Winnemem Winty tribe. Say thanks to everybody listening.
All right, I'm going to pass the phone back to Miguel.
Pedro, are you there? Pedro, are you there?
We are here.
We are here.
As you can hear in the background, the drum from All Nations Drum is beginning to do their drum and song. And there's so many different groups here. Very strongly here is the Pomo and Miwok and Ohlone peoples from around the Bay Area and Northern California, the coastal Pomo Indian tribes. And again, I see Fred Short with the staff of All Nation. It's pretty strong. The feeling here is a real sense of unity and togetherness, something that people have been striving to get to. With me here, I have Bill Means. He is one of the founding members of the American Indian Movement. And, of course, you know Bill from being on the shows with Flashpoints and Naonda. And also every year when we gather at these ceremonies, he usually joins us, particularly on what we call Indigenous Peoples Day, or as known in this country, Columbus Day. Bill, welcome to this broadcast here on Radio Free Alcatraz. Tell us, Bill, why are we gathering today?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why we believe that Indigenous Peoples Day is important to remember is so that we can change the stereotype image from Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day, because in reality today is the day that we, Indigenous people, discovered Columbus. So even though those things have been turned around backwards in history, we know where we stand as Indigenous people. So it's good to remind our relatives throughout the hemisphere, from the tip of South America to the tip of North America and Alaska. This Western Hemisphere is Indigenous people. And so once again, we come together with the classical music of the Western Hemisphere you can hear in the background, as well as hear some of the solidarity statements, various movements of people, and also to remember those who originally brought about the renaissance of the Indian movement on Alcatraz, both in 1964 and 1969, and those survivors who stood up during that time in America when everyone was involved in some type of social change effort, whether it was the peace movement of Vietnam, whether it was a civil rights movement led by Dr. King and others, whether it was the Chicano movement involving with Cesar Chavez and other Chicano students. All movements came together throughout the 70s, 60s, 70s, and Alcatraz is a result of that movement, one of the greatest coalitions ever built in the history of America. And so it's good to remind the young people of the need to organize and to become part of these commemorations so that we do not forget the past, so that we know where we're going in the future. They say if you don't know your history, then you don't know where you're going in the future. So we want to teach the young people We want to be able to hear our sacred songs and to hear the different prayers from different indigenous nations and also our allies and people we work with on a daily basis from the non-Indian community. As you see, there's a great movement coming about regards to reforming the government, some fundamental changes that are needed. So this is why it's important we come together at Alcatraz so that we can also figure out how do we become part of this growing movement to make some fundamental change within our government so that the poor people are heard and so that the middle class is not destroyed here in America. And especially, once again, to remind peoples of our issues of preserving the land, the environment, and our indigenous nations, cultures, and languages. So this is some of the reasons we come, and also to remember our treaty rights. 371 treaties was signed with the United States government, and they're still binding legal documents, which makes us indigenous people, at least in this country, different from all other minorities in that we still have our political and legal relationship with the United States government. So this is the things that we're putting out so that we can address these issues in the larger movements that are coming about now that the disinterests have seemed to take off. Deregulation. Everything is about tax breaks for the rich, stopping all kinds of rules and regulations on mining, on all these other extractive industries, which are dangerous to Mother Earth and contribute to the issue of climate change. So all these things come together for indigenous peoples here at Alcatraz, and we try to relate these issues to the greater community. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was the voice of Bill Means, founding member of the American Indian Movement, and also a board member of the International Indian Treaty Council. Now we're going to have one of the leading voices from the Pomo people on the coastal plains here in California. Duncan, welcome to today's broadcast. And the brother here is going to say a few words to get the program off. So I'm going to turn the phone over to him, and he'll be saying words of wisdom and power in a blessing for today's gathering.
Good morning. This is Doug Duncan. I'm from the Robinson Rancheria Native Tribe up in Pomo Nation in Lake County. But my family is also from the Round Valley, Yuki, Tonka, and also Mountain Mighty. So what I want to do is share with everybody today to say welcome to our celebration that we have for the anti-Columbus Day. We know that we weren't discovered, so I was asked to say a few words, and I'll try to sing a little prayer song to you before we go. Right now we are leaving the dock in San Francisco, so you hear the drums in the background, the person speaking over the loudspeaker, so we'll see how this goes here. Willie, oh, Willie, Willie, oh, Santa Maria, Willie, Willie, oh, Willie, 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 Santa Maria, Willie, Willie, KPFA for being here for our people to broadcast around the world, and the people in the other lands that I have friends in France and New Zealand and stuff. Hopefully they're listening and saying the prayers for the world peace, and the people that are of the greedy nations will wake up and see the suffering that's going on with all the people, that they would help in the traditional ways as we are, that we would take care of our elders and our children. They are a priority. So again, thank you for letting me share my words with you. I love you all. Oh.
Oh.
That was the voice of Duncan from the Klamath of the Northern California, one of the Pomo leading voices, just gave us a blessing for today's trip out to the Rock. I'm going to send it back to you, Pedro, and Braga there, and we're going to take a little musical break.
Thank you, Gavilan. Thank you for being there.
Thank you for being there, Bravo.
For those of you just tuned in, it is Indigenous Peoples Day, city of Berkeley and all around the world. We are in touch with a gathering at Alcatraz. Free Radio Alcatraz will be broadcasting soon. And we have just listened to a blessing by Doug Duncan of the Pomo. So we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back live from Alcatraz. This is KPFA, Free Speech Radio. Good morning, everybody.
Hey-yo, 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 Mesta te matayo tan hepe tawa hepe sokete hepe ayitwe heka kapumeyan Mesta te matayo ta ala hiye Hela says hear them run. They come and pray for everyone. Don't let the world get you down. There's peace and love still around. Hear the horses run.
That's right. Don't let the world get you down, because there's peace and love around. Mr. Chooch, are you on the line?
Good morning, Brava.
Good morning, Mr. Chooch. How are you?
I am doing great. I just want to let the listeners know that today is the day we honor our elders, and we honor those that are at the Rock, and we respect their traditions. Today, many of our brothers and sisters are dying in the streets of Aztlán for a red or albino. Listen to this program this morning, and you will know the true history of our people. Let us remember those who died for justice, for they have given us a life. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, Brava, for being there. Ho, all my relations.
Aho.
Aho. And we love you, Mr. Chooch, too. We have so many good people here today, and everybody wants to say something, but everybody's saying really good, powerful words of hope. That's what we need, is hope.
Yes, that's right, Mr. Chooch. Any other words?
You know, just remember that our people were here before the coming of the Europeans. That's all I have to say. And let us work together to go forward to make a change. Gracias, Pedro.
Right on, Mr. Chooch. Right there, La Onda Bajita representing.
Go forward together to make that change.
Orale, we'll talk to you soon, Mr. Chooch. Thank you for tuning in. That's right. Once again, right here, kicking it on Setting the Standard till 6 in the morning. And then we're also doing a little mix-in of what's happening in Alcatraz. And we're going to try to be getting this live broadcast coming up soon as we head into the 6 o'clock hour. I've been here with you since 1 in the morning, just letting you know, as we keep the energy going and keep the universal flow, entering the next galaxy, next dimension, as we travel horizontally. What's up, Bravo? How's it going?
Good. Back here on Earth, I forgot to give a special shout-out to Peter, Antioch, and Daniel in Oakland. Yeah, they've been tuning in, and they've been hanging in there with us. And I want to give a special shout-out to Tommy. Tom was a child on the Alcatraz Island when there was that occupation. And I'm hoping, he's very shy, but I'm hoping one day he'll come and tell us what it was like to occupy the rock from a child's point of view. So wherever you are now, Tommy, we love you, we pray for you, and we look forward to talking with you.
Hepe ayetwe hekaiga pumeyan mestate matayota hoye hear the horses, hear them run, they come and pray for everyone. Don't let the world get you down. There's peace and love still around. Hear the horses run.
We are keeping it live here. In a few minutes, we'll be tuning back into the people at Alcatraz Right now they're on their way, and we have Jimbo. Jimbo, are you there? No, not yet. Soon we will be speaking to the people there. Gavilan.
Yes, did you hear me?
Yes. What's going on over there?
Thank you, Norma, for having me on again. Well, we're here on the boat. We're getting off the ship right now. I'm joined here by Mary Jean Robertson, who's our co-host. Also, Janine Antoinette is here, Tony Gonzalez, Bill Means. It's a beautiful morning, even though it's still dark and we're still awaiting the sun. It's nice and warm, and the feeling here is everybody seems to have a sense of peace, tranquility. So it's a very good day. And like I said earlier, you heard the drum. The All Nations drum was here doing their psalms of liberation and spiritual gathering. Beautiful. The air is nice and sort of eerily warm and cool at the same time. But as we move forward, we begin to have a sense, and people have been saying it this morning, we're reclaiming the rock. It looks like every couple of years we gather here, and it's an act of reclamation.
Go to the left, please. Go to the left. We have a handicap over here. Go to the left, please.
Yes, we have to be redirected here. I'm here with Mary Jean. I'm going to take the coat. Take your coat, Mary, and hand over the phone to Mary Jean Robertson. She's been our co-host here on Radio Free Alcatraz for years. She has one of the longest-running Native American programs in California, and for that matter, United States radio history, community radio history, 40 years on the air, which is just a tribute to her determination, of course, her commitment to indigenous causes, and, of course, Indian culture. Again, Mary Jean, it's always great to have you here. It gives us a founding, steady sense of tranquility and empowerment to have you with us. On the other side, on the mothership, we got Norma. They're anchoring Pedro Reyes. But now I'm going to turn the phone over as we just landed here on the pier of Alcatraz. Mary Jean, tell us what is happening here right now.
Hi, welcome to Radio Free Alcatraz. Hi, Norma. How you doing?
Good. It's such a beautiful day. I'm so happy everybody's out there.
It's really warm.
Huh.
I brought a heavy jacket and a light jacket, and I'm wearing my light jacket. I just wanted to say it's really, the usual thing on this early morning. We're still in the dark for the sun to come up. There are hundreds of people getting off the boat, and you can hear the waves on the edges of and Bill Means is on the mic. We are sitting here on Alcatraz saying, Indians welcome to United States Penitentiary, Alcatraz Island. This is Indian land. It's been over 500 years since the hemisphere has been invaded, and we are on here doing a sunrise ceremony that is prayers and ceremony, because we want people to remember that this is an island that was a prison, and many, many people of our nations have been in similar situations on reservations with no running water, no electricity. And so Alcatraz is kind of a fitting place for people to hold these ceremonies, because there is so much similarity between the way of life that people living on reservations have to contend with. So I wanted to just say welcome to Radio Free Alcatraz this morning, and tell everybody that we're happy to be standing on Indian land once again. We have occupied Alcatraz again.
Can you tell our listeners when is the last ferry boat to the island from Pier 39?
I I'm not sure. Let me check with somebody. Do you know when the last ferry boat to the island is going to leave? I think 8 is the last. 8 a.m. is the last.
So we do have time to go down there and catch that boat and participate.
Yes.
So, Gavilan, or was it you said the vibe is peaceful right now, and that it's eerily warm. How does that make you feel?
Oh, well, other than the fact that I'm carrying around heavy jackets and stuff, it makes me feel pretty good. It's wonderful. Miguel's carrying it for me. And we're looking forward to, climbing that hill. There's a steep hill that goes up to the gathering point. So I've been working out so I can make it without a problem this time.
Mary Jane, right now we have Bill Simmons Jimbo on the line from Geneva.
I'm going to let you go and talk to him.
Yes, thank you. We'll be back.
You take care.
All right. So Jimbo is calling from Geneva, where they have the Human Rights Commission and the subcommissions on human rights and the working groups on indigenous peoples. They also have an Indigenous Peoples Documentation Center there in Geneva. And the Native American community had a friend in Geneva. Her name was June Spalding, and she was of Spalding Sporting Goods fame, and she considered herself to be in exile in Geneva because she was so upset at the way the United States was being run. And when the indigenous peoples first came to Geneva, she was there to translate. Jimbo, are you there?
There.
How are you doing over there? Or como se va?
I'm doing fine. They had the first snow here, so it's kind of getting a little cold.
Mm-hmm. And how is everybody over there?
Well, of course, I heard you mention June Spalding. She passed away some time ago, and but her daughter and the work that she was a part of still continues on. This week they're having a continuation of activities called the Human Rights Periodic Review. A few years ago, there was this review process of human rights in every country that needed to go through this process to review the situations of each country. And if remember last year was the United States. And this year it's, more African countries, and I think also Libya is a part of the review process. So that's kind of coming up here in the next few days as well. And a week and a half ago was the indigenous issues, where they discussed where the Special Rapporteur on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples was able to present his report. In his report, he referred to the San Francisco Peaks, the Winneman issue with the water, the water issue, and also there was a brief mentioning of Leonard Peltier's situation. So, but I'm here, and today, as aware of that, around the world. When I say around the world, I mean many areas where indigenous peoples are at. There is what we call Columbus Day celebration, or what they refer to as Columbus Day celebrations. But as far as the indigenous movement, that becomes a day of resistance. It becomes also Indigenous Peoples Day. And so I just thought I would call earlier, which I was talking to Tony and Bill Means, and I was able to get a hold of Miguel, and I just wanted to express my support and solidarity with all of those that are there, and remembering the resistance that continues to go on. And of course, out of that movement of Indigenous Peoples Day resistance began the whole consciousness of, resistance. And so from today on, probably this whole week, you're going to probably be hearing of Indigenous Peoples Days expressed in some way. resistance, maybe cultural activities, maybe powwow. So I just wanted to make that connection, because I remember back in 1977 when the American Indian movement through the International Indian Treaty Council came to the United Nations for the first conference on Indians of the Americas. They had 3 recommendations. One of those recommendations was to declare October as an International Day of Solidarity with Indians of the Americas. And of course, that later became what they proclaimed on a United Nations resolution. It eventually became Indigenous Peoples Day. But of course, October 12th was not conducive with what the UN work was about and some of that, so they declared or used August 9th as the year for the world's indigenous peoples, or the day for the world's indigenous peoples. So just so, people will have an understanding about why it's important for our work around the world, and the work there that's happening in Alcatraz is very symbolic for indigenous peoples around the world, including here in the United Nations as well, because you have people that will be remembering those struggles as well. And I myself will be traveling to Grenoble and then also Paris, France on October 12th and October 15th, where they'll be having Indigenous Peoples Days activities. So I just wanted to, express that show of support and solidarity there on Alcatraz, and those that are braving the cold there a little bit, and bring their prayers and their tobacco there for all of the indigenous peoples. So I just kind of wanted to say those few words there.
Oh, Jimbo, I'm really glad for your report. Just as an aside, it's supposed to be, it's said to be very, very warm this time on Alcatraz. So that's interesting. Also, I just have a real quick question. What do you think the chances are that any indigenous nation within occupied territory would ever be acknowledged as a sovereign nation? Do they talk about the struggle that the Palestinians are having regarding their sovereignty?
Yes, well, I think that would be, and that's important to us as indigenous peoples, because if you remember, and I can remember way back, and one of the solidarity statements during the occupation of Wounded Knee came from the Palestine Liberation Organization, the PLO. Mm-hmm. And, of course, the American Indian movement has always been in solidarity and recognition as a Palestinian people, as the Indians of Palestine. So I see that as kind of the political ramifications, if you want to say, that's coming to the forefront here, is how do indigenous nations become represented in a bigger body in a world community. And I think that time is going to come as soon for indigenous peoples. Which nation and which tribe or which nation or which community that will be, I really, hope that all nations, and we have always looked at ourselves as nations and recognize each other as that. But I think if for our work to continue on and for our struggles to continue on in the world community, the United Nations are going to have to sometimes recognize those indigenous nations, rightful place in the world community.
Yes.
And I see that as very, very important. And of course, the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples is just a starting point. I hope that in the future, and I hope that many other indigenous peoples will begin to see that we as Indian nations need to have a convention or some sort of convention to recognize our existence as nations. And maybe that's the next 20 years of work that the future generations and some of our people, particularly within the American Indian movement, will carry on that work that started over 30 years ago at the United Nations in 1977, which also was a continuation of the work of Tuskegee, the Cayuga, who went to the League of Nations in the 1920s.
Yes.
So that struggle is one long struggle, and somewhere, I believe that Indian people will regain, will be able to be looked up at as nations.
Yes.
And I've always thought that as indigenous peoples, they say there's 400 million indigenous peoples in the world. I believe that it's those indigenous peoples that's going to teach the world to how to be human again.
Yes,
so,
thank
our
you.
struggle will continue on.
Yes, it will, and you've been doing so much work. Thank you. We do have to go, and I apologize for cutting you off. I'm glad you're keeping it up. I'm glad you're keeping up the good work for all of us.
All right. You guys take care.
See you.
All right. Bye.
Jimbo's mother was a wonderful person. Jimbo Simmons, a long-time activist. I have known him for many, many years, and he is keeping on the good fight.
Yes, that's right, brother. Control becomes the weapon of a government, especially this one. And the people end up suffering. The psychological wars on the poor, biological experimentation, nuclear era exploitation. As we develop consciousness, though, we enter different dimensions. So we must pay close attention to what changes and how it is changing us, not them. This affects us, not them. How these laws are for the benefit for the few and for the majority of the people to suffer. How they treat Mother Earth as humanness, while they make us less than human, calling us illegal to man-made borders. Why does man, government, corporations think they are mightier than Mother Earth herself? They destroy her while you worship your gods, asking them to worship you and bow down to your military, your nuclear development. Therefore, being ignorant isn't made up by praying. Just like the conquest brought the belief of organized religion, we have our organized beliefs. Just like the ancestors before you, we too walk this earth like humans, two-legged. We have been defending the earth, just like our ancestors who have given their lives for it, and must continue to have her as our focus. No matter the struggle, the war, dreamwalkers, it is time to wake into your dreams. It is time to wake into your dreams. And you are tuned in to Setting the Standard. I'm kicking it right here with Bravo on this special for Indigenous Peoples Day. We're getting reports from Alcatraz. So if you want to get out there, you can definitely get out there still. You got some time. Catch up with the boats as they're arriving to Indian land. Right there in our own very
Following dreams with the moonlight beams, I dance with the unseen, holding her tightly as the stars are shining throughout the galaxies. We go dancing, walking, talking, and holding on to the eternity. Together, we become the dreams that lead us into the unknown. As the moon's light is beaming down, as memories are reflecting when the sun is shining, thoughts find me. And I maintain my mentality, and it becomes a process that we are reflecting memories and dreams. The sun is shining, and I am tuned to the frequency of becoming. Energy growing within the trees that have a destiny, growing within the roots I find grounding, expanding through never-ending dreams. We will heal this planet. You're listening to a special broadcast for Indigenous Peoples Day. Right now we have the news headlines with Eileen Alfanteri, and we'll be back with The Rock.
Thank you, Norma and Pedro. Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, October 10th. I'm Eileen Alfanderi with news headlines. California Governor Jerry Brown has signed the DREAM Act, Beginning in 2013, it will allow undocumented California students to qualify for state financial aid for college. State officials estimate some 2,500 students will qualify for Cal Grants, fee waivers at community colleges, and student aid programs administered by the University of California and California State University systems. The state estimated the cost at $14.5 million. Los Angeles Democratic Assemblyman Gil Cedillo has introduced the DREAM Act legislation repeatedly, only to have it vetoed by former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger and now finally signed by Governor Jerry Brown. Governor Brown vetoed a bill that would have allowed state universities to consider factors such as race and gender in admissions. In his veto statement, Brown said he agreed with the spirit of the bill, but that it should be up to the courts to determine the limits of Proposition 209. That measure bars affirmative action programs. California's top federal prosecutors have announced a crackdown on large marijuana operations they say are hiding under the guise of medical marijuana to run lucrative dope peddling operations. Medical marijuana activists blasted the crackdown as an attack on patients using medical marijuana under California's law. Christopher Martinez filed this report from Sacramento.
California's 4 U.S. attorneys say they're going after large-scale commercial marijuana growers and retail stores they say are hiding under the state's medical marijuana law. Andre Birot Jr. is U.S. attorney for the Los Angeles district.
Simply put, illegal profits fuel the illegal commercial marijuana industry, and so we will use the law to seek those illegal profits.
The U.S. attorneys say they're going after large-scale growers and dealers, not individual patients who use medical marijuana under California's Proposition 215 compassionate use law. But patients and advocates take a different view. Patricia Smith works with the Grass Valley group Grassroots Solution, counseling people with AIDS and seniors with health problems.
I think it's all aimed at ending the whole medical marijuana as we know it. I mean, it's just one chink at a time, but that is their ultimate goal.
Nate Bradley is director of the group Lawmen Protecting Patients, a group of retired and disabled law enforcement officers who have become medical marijuana patients. He takes issue with the prosecutors' claim they're not going after patients.
It's like we're not going to go after sick people. We're just going to close down Walgreens. You know, you're going to cut off their point of access.
Some advocates are urging people to call on the Barack Obama administration to call off its campaign against medical marijuana, a campaign some say is more harsh than that of the Bush administration. Reporting from the federal courthouse in Sacramento, I'm Christopher Martinez.
More political leaders are weighing in on the Occupy Wall Street movement. Over the weekend, Democratic House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi said she supports the message of Occupy Wall Street.
Well, I support the message to the establishment, whether it's Wall Street or the political establishment and the rest, that change has to happen. We cannot continue in a way that is not relevant to their lives. People are angry.
But on Friday, Republican House Majority Leader Eric Cantor called the Occupy Wall Street protesters a mob.
If you read the newspapers today, I, for one, am increasingly concerned about the growing mobs occupying Wall Street and the other cities across the country. And believe it or not, some in this town have actually condoned the pitting of Americans against Americans.
Republican House Majority Leader Eric Cantor. Oakland activists say they will join the nationwide movement against corporate greed and economic inequality. They'll begin an Occupy Oakland action at 4 p.m. today at Frank Ogawa Plaza. At least 24 people are dead and more than 300 injured in the worst violence in Egypt since the uprising that ousted President Hosni Mubarak in February. The clashes erupted after Coptic Christians staged a demonstration to protest demolition of a church in southern Egypt. Weather forecast for the San Francisco Bay Area, patchy morning fog and clouds with a slight chance of afternoon rain, highs in the 60s to mid-70s. In Fresno and the central San Joaquin Valley, mostly sunny, highs 75 to 80 degrees. This is KPFA, KPFB Berkeley, KFCF 88.1 FM Fresno, online, kpfa.org. We return to KPFA's special broadcast on Indigenous Peoples Day. We'll be going to